Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
Welcome to the campus of Keystone College. Today, it's a Wyoming Valley Conference girls lacrosse matchup between the Dallas Mountaineers and the Abington Heights Comets. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Ide, and welcome to a great event here on the campus of Keystone College. Up first, we have girls lacrosse. Then we'll have a youth clinic at 6 p.m. And then at 7:30 right here on MyTV, it's CSAC men's lacrosse as Marywood takes on Keystone. Joining me along for the ride, Coach Bob Vanderhayden from the Philadelphia Lacrosse Association. And Bob, this is our third year doing this type of event. It's great for lacrosse in this area.
Oh, it's great, because up in this area, it is still in its infancy, but we're able to grow and grow and grow the game. It can only get better for the future.
Let's talk about this girls game. First up, Dallas 2-3 overall in conference play. They're led by Lauren Delamater.
And Lauren, being a junior, she's got some experience with her. She leads the team in goals and assists. She's going to need to lead them here tonight.
On the opposite side, another attack player, a transfer for Abington. Abington comes in 2-2, and that's Brennan Tates.
And Brennan, being a transfer, she's got some experience somewhere else. Hopefully she's bringing that into this new team, and she can lead them in tonight's contest.
When we return, it's the keys to the game and the starting lineups. It's Wyoming Valley Conference Live Girls Lacrosse next.
Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
Starting lineups being announced here at Keystone College as we get you set for Wyoming Valley Conference girls lacrosse right here on MyTV. And Bob Vanderhayden and I, Bob Ide, back in the booth. And Bob, let's talk about two keys to the game. We talked to both coaches. First up for the Mountaineers of Dallas.
Well, with Dallas, the transition attack, what they're talking about here is getting the ball in movement and getting it up the field as fast as they can. They also need to control the tempo and the draws right from the start. If they can control the ball, they can control the game. Over to Abington Heights, they need to slow down the fast break. So even though they're a young program, they've got to come out with a strong defense over the entire field. And they too are looking to control the draw. Whoever can control the draw, they can maintain their possession, keep their momentum going.
Now let's take a look at your starters. Up first for the Mountaineers, 2-3 in the Wyoming Valley Conference coming in. On defense, it's very senior oriented and a lot of experience in that. You have Lou, Alves, Tefera, and Gabby Sweeney, number 44. Your midfielders this afternoon will be Ratchford, who takes a lot of the draws, Young and Strickland. And on attack, we have Delamater, Banks, Lou, and Barrett. And your goalie, just a junior, Bailey Stackish. 60 saves on the year, gives up about 6.1 goals against, and has a save percentage of 61%. For the home team, Abington Heights Comets, 2-2 coming in. The defense looks like this. It will be Noon, a senior, Grenfell, Murray, and Steenbeck, all seniors on defense. For the midfielders for the Comets, it will be Perry, Brown, and Albright. And on attack, it will be Tates, Simikoski, DeRizzo, and Stiles. In goals, Sidney Horvath, just a sophomore, gives up about 9 goals per game. And I think one of the things, Bob, we need to talk about has been the goalie play for these two teams. They're both young goalies, but they've played pretty well this season.
Well, goalie play can go either way in the middle of a game. Not many people realize it, but it is such a mind part of the game where they've just got to hit their head in the game, and they've got to focus time after time after time again. Very rarely do you have a shutout, so the goalies just need to stay in there. They need to be strong. They need to brush off whatever just happened and focus on the next shot coming their way.
These two teams met about a year ago in May of last year, and Dallas, with a very good team last year, beat Abington Heights 12-4. I think we'll see a little bit different and closer game this afternoon. So the draw control getting underway. And as I mentioned, I think it'll be Barrett in there, and it looks like for Abington Heights, DeRizzo First whistle of the game's a trip, and it will be Dallas ball on their side. So talk about some of the girls' rules, Bob, a little bit different than what we see in the boys' game.
Yeah, in the past couple of years, we've done some men's games, and the men's game and the women's game do have some differences. So if you're used to watching a men's game and you come out and you see a girls' game, there's a lot of times there's some questions that are happening there. There are some different lines on the field. We'll go over those later in the broadcast. You also notice that there are more players per team out on the field, and the one thing you'll notice that there's less of is protective equipment. The women's game is much more about being skilled and being able to move the ball around. There is some contact, but not as much as we've seen before in the men's game.
And a lot of times you'll hear a lot of whistles. It will be because of contact near the head or maybe like we saw a trip or something like that.
Yes, the officials are very aware to try to make this as safe of a game as possible for all the players out on the field. That is a big point that they are focusing on. So you'll see here we've got another whistle. It'll happen quickly, and just like this, the referee is directing the players out on the field. There are different levels of foul, and so they'll set up the field in a particular way. As you can see, she's directing other players to get in the way or out of the way.
This is Delamater with a free clear. No shot, a good defense for Abington as they stepped in between the goal and herself. And that's another thing we look for. You can't really step in a girl racing towards the goal.
Well, we do have two different kinds of fouls like this, and there'll be a couple of different setups. There are direct, and then there are indirect. And so as we go through the game, you're going to pick up a little bit more of how each plays out here in the game. It definitely helps, controlling the tempo of the game, but it adds a different dynamic that in the men's game, we haven't covered really that much before. So it'll be interesting, for everybody to learn, for everybody to get, what's happening out on the field. But as you can see, the action is still as intense. It still moves around. These women have heart. They really want to get out there and play this game. So I think it just takes maybe a little more discipline, to do exactly what you want to have done.
So this is Delamater, a junior, 20 goals coming in. She'll be the girl that Abington will pay attention to a lot. As we talked about, 43 shots on the year.
You can see that they've got Abington's sending out multiple defenders to go out on her and to try to prevent her from scoring or from making a feed. There's a feed right there, went a little bit low. So now we're dealing with a ground ball. Two comes up with that, and Dallas came back up with it again. So they'll continue the pressure.
So it's a 12-on-12 game. That includes two goalies, one on each side.
Yes, each team should have 4 attackmen, 4 defensemen, and then middies that are running back and forth through the middle of the field. So at times you can get a lot of people out there.
So first possession of the game for the Comets. They bring it down in transition. They lose the ball midfield. So fight for the ground ball. Another key to Lacrosse, winning a lot of the ground balls. Goes right into the stick of DeRisso from Abington Heights.
Yeah, we've said it many times. The ground ball is the path to winning the game. So if you can win the ground ball competition, you have got a much better chance of coming out on top on the score.
Abington Heights last year was 4-7. That was their first year of varsity play. But they did win a district game. They beat Pitt-Stanley in the first round before losing to eventual District 2 champion Wyoming Seminary. So Becky Davis is the coach. Was a 9-year coach at the University of Scranton, stepped away a couple of years, and then has come back not only with Abington, but also with the Scranton Youth League, coaching the girls who eventually come up and play for Abington. Leia Perry trying to pick up the ground ball, has some trouble with it, and it's fought by Samantha Banks for Dallas, and there's one of those hits in the head.
That one was a penalty.
And that could be that's our first penalty of the afternoon.
Actually, she's getting a card on this one. There's a couple of different levels of penalty. That one, as you can see, the Dallas player's stick made contact with the Abington player's head. Boy, that's always rough when you see that. And that is a cardable foul, so now she will serve some time in the penalty box over between the two teams.
So they'll have an advantage now, women up, right?
Yes, yeah, they should have an advantage for a little bit here. The other thing that's a little bit difficult about the women's game is that the referees don't come over to the sidelines to announce what the penalty was or how long. So for this one, it's a 2-minute, but sometimes it'll be 1 minute, 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes is pretty excessive. That's That was a hit in the head.
That was a hit in the head.
That's
excessive. Yeah.
So let's see if Abington can take advantage of this and take the early lead on the Mountaineers of Dallas. Dallas has 24 new players on this team, 43 overall. That's the most in their history. They've only been around for 5 years. So we have another whistle, and we'll have a placement just around the 12-meter mark. That's that light blue line on the field.
We've got a number of light blue lines on the field, but that's the arc that's further. Yeah, that's the one that's
Come
furthest
on, Bob,
away.
it's the one in the shot.
That's furthest away from the crease. We do have a 12-meter arc, and then there's an 8-meter arc that's inside of that. And those lines do have to do with the different areas on the field, penalties, and different kinds of play that happens there.
First shot on goal by the Mountaineers is taken in by Horvath.
That was a nice save because it was a very nice shot that was down on the ground. She was looking to take advantage of the the ground getting in and redirecting the shot, but that goalie was a very nice and solid save there.
Shot by Christina Liu, so they'll ride, and Abington throws it away. So despite being a woman up, Abington having trouble holding on to the ball. Dallas now with a little bit of an advantage if they can kill off this 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, for Dallas right now, move the ball around, maintain possession, and try to run out the penalty here. If you can do that, it'll put you in good shape. The last thing you want to do is push too hard, lose the ball, and then the other team comes back and scores on you.
Referees this afternoon, Bob McCunis and Celeste Kalpin out of the Wyoming Valley Conference, making the calls. So again, Dallas is going to kill off this woman up, and it is now full strength on both sides. And now Dallas will get into that offense. It averages just about 6.8 goals per game. They're coming off a win the other day against Tunkhannock, 14-4.
Now you can see as Dallas is moving the ball around the outside, and the Dallas players just kind of jogging around. What she's probably doing is looking for a specific opening, and I would bet that the coach has it set up in a certain way that when she gets to a certain point, girls then look to cut either straight at her or into an open space. We've got another penalty on the field, and once again, you can see how the referees are opening up certain areas. Right now, the shooter is on the 8-meter arc, and the referee has cleared everyone else out of the 8-meter arc. As you can see that, she had to push all the players back outside of that 8-meter arc. She's going to blow the whistle, and
Delamater, great save by Horvath. She tried to shoot low. Horvath was up to the task, going low off the right-hand side and using her stick to stop that one. And we talked about the goalies early on. A sophomore making a nice save. We're scoreless just about 8 minutes into this game.
It's actually kind of surprising. Usually about this time we've got a point or two up on the board, but that also does speak towards the strength of the Abington Heights goalie there. She's made a couple of good saves. I think that last one may have been with a pad on her leg because she made an adjustment to it after the save. But anything that the goalie can get in the way of the ball, that's what they try to do.
Picked up by DeRizzo, the senior, number 19. She'll hold possession. And Dallas will set it up. Nice move to come back the other way. Delamater is going to take it from one side of the field to the other and look for the cutters. Gets around, and Delamater, her 21st goal of the season, and Dallas is on the board.
Now you saw Delamater came around the crease right here, and she was able to move the goalie out of position. When she was back at X, she was able to pull the goalie out of position, and then she capitalized on her speed coming around the crease and was able to sneak the ball in there. I have a feeling that in order for them to score, for Dallas to score, they're going to have to keep doing that. Move the goalie out of position and then take advantage of that. What I'm also seeing is that Lauren is holding the ball a lot. She's had the ball in her stick a lot. Abington's going to start picking up on that. And hopefully, and I don't believe that Dallas is a one-trick pony, but if that's kind of what they're building their offense around, if Abington starts to shut that out by double-teaming or even triple-teaming Lauren, then that's going to cause problems for Dallas.
Abby Brown wins this draw control for Abington, looking to tie this one up. Abington averaging about 6.1 goals per game. They're coming off a loss the other day to Crestwood 7-1. Before that, they beat Tunkhannock 10-4. Delamater again, probably the most skilled on this Dallas team. Came up through the youth league in Dallas, which her father started. So she's had a lot of experience playing the game. Cutter down the middle, knocked away by the goalie. They're trying to get it inside to Grace Young, the junior, and Abington comes away with the ball.
And now this is what we were talking about in the keys to the game. Abington's looking here to get the ball. They've now got it in transition, bringing up the field. Let's see how hard they either push right at the goal and
DeRizzo throws it away, could not be saved.
Brought out of bounds. Just like in the men's game, if a shot is taken, the ball goes back to the team that has a member close to the ball as it goes out of bounds. However, that was a pass. So when the passes, ball goes out of bounds, ball goes to the other team. However, Abington, there was a very nice redefend there. They were able to come back up with the ball. They kept it up in their offensive end of the field. So let's see if they can use this opportunity.
Well, clear here, I think, right?
Ref might be calling a push. She fell over. I'm not sure if that was because of the Dallas player or her. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of nudging going on right there. Could have been. I'll tell you, the refs have a difficult job in this game because, yeah, they were calling that more of a push.
So here's Aaron Albright getting the start today. Shot, score. Abington ties it up. 15-31. So 15-31 left in the half.
We have a immediate timeout.
Albright ties it up for Abington as we head to the break. Dallas with the first score as leading scorer for the Mountaineers, Lauren Delamater, puts it in behind goal. And then Abington, just before we went to the break, tied this one up. Aaron Albright's first goal of the year. And that's where we stand. Bob Ide and Bob Vanderheyden back at Keystone College as Willamette Valley Conference Girls Lacrosse, brought to you by U.S. Lacrosse, and we can't thank them enough. Andy Connor here from U.S. Lacrosse will join us at halftime, and their support of this area with lacrosse is just huge.
Well, Bob, as we've mentioned before, the sport of lacrosse is growing up in this area, northeastern PA, and Andy O'Connor is the regional director for U.S. Lacrosse, so she's been instrumental in talking with a lot of people up here, and we'll talk to her at halftime. You can get more details from her, but they like to support the game and the growth of the game, and it is such a fantastic game for kids to get involved with. There's a lot of life lessons to be learned. It's an all-around fantastic game, and it's great that U.S. Lacrosse is sending their support to our area, and they're also sending it all over the country.
All over
the country. So I don't know if you've ever been down to the headquarters down in Sparks, Maryland, but fantastic facility, great group of people. I know a number of people down there. They look to help out however they can, wherever they can. So
draw control one by Dallas. That's number 3, Grace Young, the junior. So big possession here. Dallas trying to take back that lead.
And as we mentioned in the keys to the game at the beginning, Coach was talking about draw control. If they can come up with the ball right here, they can control the tempo of the game. And even though Abington came back and scored quickly right before the break, Dallas has had the ball in their sticks for a lot longer time. We don't really keep track of possession time, but at the high school level. But the Dallas team has been able to do what they're doing right now, work the ball around, move the ball around, see how Abington defense reacts to them, and then look for those opportunities where they can score. Abington, when they brought the ball down to their offensive end each time, they've kind of gone right for the goal. Like, let's just go and put it in the back of the net. So 2 different styles of play. They can work out, as long as your team is disciplined and everybody's on the same page, you can come out on top.
Well, the difference in experience in programs, Dallas has, as we said, been around a little bit longer, maybe 5-6 years, where Abington, second-year varsity play, a lot of these girls play other sports that they haven't picked up the sticks till last year. Where Dallas, we've had girls come through the youth system there.
And it looks like that because I see athletic players from Abington. Not that Dallas is not, but I'm seeing athletic players out there, and that makes sense if they're playing other sports. Oh, there's a goal right there.
Yep, that's Melinda Ratchford for the Mountaineers. Her 13th goal on the year, and Dallas takes back the lead, 2-1.
And on this replay, you'll see that a lot of Abington Heights players went out, and they double and triple team the ball carrier, which allowed the Dallas team to get open right there above the crease and make that shot a little bit easier for them. So like I had mentioned before, if Abington starts to adopt a double and triple team of Lauren or any of the other players, midfield players that are moving the ball around, they're looking for that opportunity right above the crease to take an easy shot on the goalie, because those are the shots the goalies don't like. They'd rather the shots come from the outside. Those are a little bit easier for them to make a save on.
Draw control again by Young.
Now that draw control was about perfect, Bob, because you could see how that Dallas player that was right in the middle of the draw was able to get the ball up and out. It's got to go above their shoulders at least, and she was able to direct it right to one of her other players. That was actually a perfect draw for them.
This is the defender, Lauren Alves, bringing this one into the attack zone. She's a senior, has 1 assist on the year. Very experienced Dallas defense. Start 2 seniors back there, and that's what Coach Delamater told me when I spoke to him a week ago. The offense is coming along, as you see. Now up 1. Dallas looked to extend this lead. Just outside the 12-meter mark. That's Barrett. Couple sticks, no whistle, and there finally. Whistle called.
You'll see when the referee waves their hand very close to their head, what they're talking about is the stick got in the sphere. So the referee is looking for that, and it looked like the Abington Heights player, her stick may have gotten too close to the Dallas player's head. There's about a 6 or 7 inch dome, if you will, sphere right around the player's head where the stick is not allowed to go into.
What I wonder, and I see it more on the college level and the women's side, girls side, how do you play defense when you know you can't hit the stick? What is the object trying to get that ball out or trying to stop a shot on goal if you can't get near the head or hit a stick?
Well, Bob, as you know, I'm coaching younger players right now. I'm coaching 3rd and 4th grade girls, and so we're starting with the fundamentals, and the real strong fundamental is body positioning. So if you can master good body positioning, and as a defender you can stay between your player and the goal when she has the ball, you can prevent her from being able to take a shot.
This is Delamater in, and she puts up her 2nd goal of the game. This one past Horvath, and out to 2-goal lead for the Mountaineers.
This is always a tough position for the goalie when you've just got one attacking player coming at you with the ball, and you've got to make a quick decision. I would imagine that's similar to how it is in a shootout in hockey. One player coming at you, it's just you and the offensive player, and I always feel bad for the goalies that get put in that position. However, there are goalies that stop them. They just get right there and they can get in the mind of the shooter, and they can stop that shot.
So Dallas with some substitutions, up 2 goals, 12:20 left in the first half. 25-minute halves in the girls' game, and another great draw control right into Grace Young's hand. They have that one down to a science, Bob.
I was going to say, Bob, watching
3 in a row.
Yeah, watching them do that, I think they practice that a lot in practice. They go over that, I would bet, again and again and again with the same players in the same positions, making sure they're making that same move so that they can control the draw. That's called the draw at the beginning of the game there, and if they can control that draw, then they can control the pace of the game, and they're certainly doing that here this afternoon.
Senior Ratchford gives it up to Delamater, who, as Bob mentioned, handles the ball about 75% of the time on the offensive attack for Dallas. Almost triple teamed there by the Comets.
Yeah, you can see that there's a player playing her very close, one-on-one, and then the next defender inside of her is also there for support, just in case she gets beat. So what this is telling me is that Becky's done a very good job. Coach Davis is doing a very good job of teaching her players how to play defense together as a unit. You mentioned before, what makes a defensive group successful, and playing together as a unit is always key. They've got to have that communication. They got to know where each other is going. Keep your sticks up. You'll notice that on the women's game, they've got to keep their sticks vertical. They don't really have those same kind of checks that we've seen in other games for the men's game. But if they can keep that body position and keep communicating, they can do a good job. And Abington's been doing a good job so far. I like what I'm seeing out there on the field.
Unlike the college game, no shot clock in high school girls lacrosse, so you can hold on to it as long as you can keep it. That's good stick work by the midi for Dallas, and it's taken away by the Mountaineers.
And there's a lot of coaches that will refer to that as the redefend. When your team has had the ball up in the offensive end of the field and you lose possession of it. On the men's game, we call that a ride. You've heard us say that before. On the women's game, I hear redefend quite often, and Dallas did a very good job of doing that right in the middle of the field. Kind of create a little bottleneck, which made it harder for Abington to get the ball up to their offensive players.
Sarah Murray with the ball for the Comets. Now trying to clear. They'll get it back to the goalie. And Dallas will go into the ride.
Again, Bob, we've talked about the men's game a number of times. In the men's game, the goalie gets the ball, he's got 3 seconds to get out of that crease. In the women's game, they've got 10 seconds to get it out of the crease. So they're able to take a little bit more time. The defense is able to get set up in a little better position for a clear. Unfortunately, looks like they took a little too much time there, but that was a fantastic save.
Grace Young, yep, great save by Hordvath, a sophomore, keeping Abington in this game. Trying to get the clear.
Bob, you had mentioned before the, oh, here we go. So we've got this shot coming in, and it's a fantastic save. She went right there. Oh, she was reading the mind of the shooter on that one. Yeah, she knew exactly where that ball was going. That was very good. What you mentioned before about how the Dallas team has been around a little bit longer.
Since 2007, yep.
Yeah, so that gives them the opportunity to become a little more disciplined. I noticed that Dallas has been checking sticks more. And in order to check sticks in the women's game, you've got to have better control of your equipment. Yeah, right here, double team by Dallas, and yeah, this will happen. They may have called Abington.
It's Mountaineer ball,
charging on that way, and that's how they gave the ball over to Dallas. Perfect interception. Abington player was in the exact right space she should have been.
That's taken away. That was Megan Noon. She's a senior. Gives it off to Stiles. She loses it. And here comes Dallas back the other way in transition, but she gets stick in there. Banks bringing it up, passes it off. And another turnover now for the Mountaineers. And Abington trying to take advantage of this, down 2 in this game. This is Barrett, sophomore, has the ball, splits 2 defenders, now 2 more, and she'll pass it off and set it up. We haven't heard from Tate yet, and this is her, I think, with the ball, 24. Leading scorer on the team for the Comets, transfer in from Texas, has the most experience on the team, as we talked about, 19 goals. Look for her to get into this action a little bit more, Bob.
Now, as you see, there's a textbook example of having a little more experience, a little more discipline. She brought the ball back behind at X, slowed the game down a little bit. Let's maintain possession, and then we'll work something out. Whereas in the last couple of Abingtonite players that brought the ball down the field, they were just going right for the goal.
Kind of forced that shot a little bit off the left-hand side. That was a good save by the goalie for Dallas, but they get it right back. Stackdish had it, lost it. Goes right into the hands of Barrett. And Barrett will pull it out. They'll set this one up. Abington down 2, excuse me.
It looks like Abington is looking for an opportunity here. They've got 1 or 2 players cutting in through the center.
That's good stick work. See all the Mountaineers now with their sticks up, with their one hand, trying to drop anything that comes their way.
Now we're looking at a little more control from Abington, not rushing it. They want to make the smart play now. They're looking to make the smart pass, the smart run. Dallas was picking up quickly on a double team. And as you notice, when the ball was down at the Abington's defensive end, Abington was playing much more double and triple teams. Dallas is playing a little more, one-on-one, not pulling in a double team as fast as they need to. There was just like one little, a swing there to try to get a stick check, but she didn't stay in that double team for very long.
Shot low, knocked away by Stackish, and it rolls right into her stick. So she'll set up the clear. Dow's trying to run this one out.
And it looks like Abington is playing some pretty good defense.
When the Comets girls, here we look at the shot again by Barrett.
Trying to use the ground there, get that redirect. So a nice bounce shot. Those are always the more unpredictable of the shots, but the goalie had that one in her sights the whole way.
I think she's going to position the players. Delamater had the ball. They're going to move Brown out to the 12-meter.
Yeah, I believe when Lauren made that pass, that either set up shooting space. Number 16 for Abington was in shooting space, or a 3-second rule. And that was another very good save. This Abington goalie is doing a fantastic job.
Keeping them in the game, yeah. Grace
definitely.
Young looking for her first goal on the year. Here's the shot, a goal again by the junior.
Yeah, you see coming right off the foul. So again, boy, do I hate to see those for goalies, but that goalie is doing a fantastic job.
We have another whistle and stoppage. Dowell's balls, Abington threw it away. A lot of turnovers for the Comets here this afternoon, giving much more possession time to Dallas.
And as the Abington team grows, from year after year after year, and they get more experience, they'll be able to reel that in and use that, to their advantage. I'm sure that their possession time will increase, and then that will hopefully help their scores increase. The program will just benefit from it all around.
Delamater got the shot off. I think it was knocked down by one of the defenders, but they retained possession, and they'll set this one back up. Olivia Delavan, a sophomore, has the ball. She's just one of the subs, playing here late in the first half. It was 1-1, 15:31 left in the half. Dallas has scored the last 2 goals, and that's where we stand right now, 3-1 your score.
I would like to say that I am very impressed with the Abington Heights defensive play. Scoreboard shows one thing, but the play out on the field is very aggressive. They're working together as a team. It looks to me like they are doing what they want to do. They're dictating what's happening down there.
One thing I did see when I went to practice is they do have trouble with this clear, and that they have been practicing that.
Okay. And
so this time they get it away. They get it across midfield,
which is good. And then over the restraining line. And as you can see, looks like this player is just going right in for the goal.
Barrett shot, stopped by the goalie, Stackish, excuse me. She's playing pretty well herself. We're going to take a look at this shot on goal.
Yeah, here it comes, and you can almost just see right from here, she's going to the goal. She's, this Abington player, just going right at the goal, right at the goal. It might be a little more beneficial. Pull the ball out, possess, let the rest of your midfield line come down and join you, help you out, work together as a team to get that ball in the back of the net.
So the clock will roll now to the 2-minute mark, and then on every whistle, it will stop from then on, under 2 minutes in the high school game.
Yeah, that's another thing about the women's game. From where I'm coaching it currently, down 3rd grade, all the way up to college, the rules change at each level. So if we've got any parents that are out there that are watching, they've got younger daughters that may be playing, and they may be watching and saying, wait, why did they do that? Why did they do this? Each level of the game gets a little more and more physical, a little faster and a little faster, and that really pushes the players to develop in their lacrosse career. At the youngest ages, you're working a lot of fundamentals. You're trying to set the groundwork for a long and positive lacrosse career. At the higher levels, college, last year we did a game at Bucknell, the Bucknell women's game. very fast game, very quick, very from this side down to the other side, shoot at the goal. That side down to this side, shoot at the goal. So the game changes dramatically at each level, but each level builds from the previous one. So I do like what I'm seeing out here from both teams. There's a lot of positive lacrosse play going on this afternoon. There is a little more controlled movement of the ball coming from the Dallas side, but to counter that, the Abington Comets have got a fantastic defense out here. So this is not easy for either team, but they're definitely working hard, and they're putting up a good show here. We've said this before: 3-1. That's nothing in a lacrosse game. You can come back from that, quickly and easily.
Abington's held this Dallas has held this possession just over 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Trying to wear this clock down, maybe take a last shot on goal and not give Abington any opportunity to get back in this one. Inside Delamater, shot, save by Horvath.
Wow.
She is keeping Abington in the game. Their coach Delamater can't believe it.
Yeah, that goalie is fantastic. The Abington Heights goalie, she is doing her job today.
And that will do it. So 1/2 in the book here at Keystone College in Wyoming Valley Conference Lacrosse. At the half, it will be Dallas 3 and Abington Heights 1. When I return, we'll talk to Andy O'Connor from U.S. Lacrosse. Bob will take a break, and then we'll have second half action here on MyTV.
Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by U.S. Lacrosse.
We're back at Keystone College at the half. Dallas leads this one 3-1. Bob Coach Van back in the booth. And Bob, let's talk about the field. We see a lot of different lines on a college field like this. But what do you show us what a women's and girls lacrosse field looks like?
Well, Bob, we've talked about the differences between the men's and women's game. We've done a number of men's games here. But going to the women's game, we definitely have some more lines, some additional lines that we've got to see. You've got a draw circle right in the middle. We've seen that action happening. That happens at the beginning of each beginning of each half, and then after each goal. We also have some vertical lines that are going through the middle of the field area there. Those are known as the restraining lines. Those are holding back either offensive or defensive players so that when the ball gets to one end of the field, we wind up having a number of attack and midfielders playing against each other down near the goals. For the goals, we've got a typical crease, which is just the same as on a men's game, but we've got the addition of a couple of arcs. We've got an 8-meter arc and a 12-meter arc. And as we saw, when the referees, the officials were calling different minor fouls and major fouls, those lines come into play. And there's different action that can happen down there in that area right in front of the goal. When I'm coaching players, I'm always trying to get my goalies to pay attention to the action that's going on inside of there, because that's where things can get really fast, really confusing, and really tough. So it's an added little part of the game that we've got going on.
So there's the way the field looks here at Keystone. We're at the half. 3-1 is your score. And we're going to bring in now Andy O'Connor from U.S. Lacrosse. And we want to thank U.S. Lacrosse for sponsoring the game. And welcome to Pennsylvania, up here into the Northeast Pennsylvania. Tell me what your perceptions are so far, what you've seen.
It's really exciting. There's a really nice level of skill, a lot of excitement, a lot of positive energy. Kids are having fun. That's the most important thing. Yeah,
this is one of those new areas, and it's really growing in northeastern Pennsylvania. What have you seen after talking to some of the youth coaches around here?
That there is it's slowly growing, but there's a lot of interest and excitement in the game. There's a lot of education opportunity, and that's where U.S. Lacrosse is. What our biggest effort is now is to try and help provide the educational support. There's a lot of resources through our membership and through our website. There's a mobile coach app. You can go on your phone and download an app and help parents, help players, help coaches learn more about the game.
What is the US Lacrosse? What are some of their goals now for the youth lacrosse? I know you have some papers, and I know they're taking a direction they want to see it go.
Yes, the biggest emphasis, and not just through U.S. Lacrosse, but through all the national governing bodies, the emphasis is to try and encourage kids to participate in sports. And to, the biggest thing that we found, there was an Aspen Institute study called Project Play, in which the #1 reason kids played were to have fun and be with their friends. It wasn't winning. Winning was way down on the list of the top 50. And so as parents, as coaches, to try and encourage and think about the child. What's best for children? And that's where we have the biggest emphasis right now is our lacrosse athlete development model. And there's a number of resources on our website. There's some information there as parents to help guide you and ask questions for the programming that you're supporting and putting your children in, to ask questions to understand, are they being developed to their full potential as far as children learning physical literacy? Are they learning how to hop, skip, and jump before they run? Just
So a lot going on.
yes.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Bob and I will come back. We'll break down the first half. Andy will stay with us for some of the second half. And at the half here in Wyoming Valley Conference, girls lacrosse, Dallas 3, Abington 1. We'll be right back.
Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by U.S. Lacrosse.
The rain has stopped temporarily, we hope, and hopefully permanently for the day, and we're getting this game in. Dallas leads 3-1. Time now to take a look at some first half highlights, Bob. Dallas got on the scoreboard first at the 17:01 mark. Our leading scorer, Lauren Dallenbotter.
Well, we talked about her at the beginning of the game. She's going to lead the team, and she did right there. First score of the game.
Abington ties it up. Aaron Albright takes advantage.
Yep, brought the ball down quickly. That was, I think, that goal came off of a really nice transition. And this next one came off of a nice feed. That was that feed where Dallas was able to get in the middle of the Abingtonites defense. And then we've got our last one off of a foul here. But I will say, even though we've got this a couple of points put up on the board here, the Abingtonites goalie has been doing fantastic. Here's a couple of great saves. She went right down low and was right on the mark for that save there. And then she's had a couple of others. I think this one here was another
Sydney
very good
Horvath,
one.
the sophomore. She's kept the comments in the game.
Yes, she has. She definitely has. The score would be dramatically different. Yeah, she's had great play back there in the crease.
So how does Abington now get back into this one?
Well, I think as we've talked about it, their defense has been very strong. They've come out and they've played some pretty active defense against Dallas's offense. Dallas was trying to dictate the momentum of the game, and Abington just answered that with a strong defense. So Abington now needs to turn that around, turn some of their defensive plays into offense, and put the ball in the back of the net. They did it once. They've got to do it a couple more times. Hopefully they can have a little more patience when they get the ball up to the offensive area of the field, and they can capitalize on the opportunities that present themselves.
I think Dallas is controlling the draws, and they're much more possession time, and that's probably to their advantage.
We did talk about that, how Dallas looks like they're running their draw exactly the way they do in practice. And that can make a difference. If you can win the draw, you can maintain possession, you can kind of dictate the pace of the game, and Dallas is really looking to do that. That also takes a little more of a disciplined team. And we've talked about the length of time that Dallas has been able to put in, a little bit older of a program as opposed to Abington. So we've got two different aspects right here, but it looked like Abington has made an adjustment on the draw, and they knew where that ball was coming.
Absolutely.
So
DeRizzo, the senior, using that experience, and now Abington looking to cut into this Dallas lead here into the second half.
And I'll bet Coach Davis has made an adjustment at halftime. I know she was over there talking with her team. She probably just mentioned some of the same things we were talking about. Let's get the ball, let's move it around the outside, let's possess, and let's look for an opportunity. Here
and let's get our leading scorer into the game, and Tate's off-balance shot, not a lot of force on it. And we'll whistle. And we have a Dallas girl down. I think that's number 4, Alves, the senior. So it'll be Dallas ball.
It happened a little quick for me. I'm not sure the exact penalty, but it may have been that Abington was coming out a little bit aggressive. Coming a little bit aggressive there with some contact. Now Dallas has got to get the ball all the way up to the other end of the field.
Good job by Abington to read that one. Now we have a
Abington-
push. Go ahead, Andy.
Abington's done a very nice job anticipating where the ball's going and had some nice blocks and interceptions
Now you did play, Bob told me. Where did you play?
at the University of Maryland, College Park.
Okay. Pretty good program.
It's been a nice tradition.
Yeah, a little bit.
to be a part of.
Andy, with your experience, if you could just kind of share with our listeners out there a little bit of what you see, having been a player of the women's game. When you're looking out here and you see this play going on the field.
Oh, it rolls in.
Well, we saw a goal.
That
That's
was
always a good
Tate's.
thing to see. Okay.
That gets Abington back into this game. 23-31 left, and it's 3-2 now.
Yeah, you can see how the our player here, nice roll dodge, and then was able to get a nice shot off. I love it when they use the ground. That redirects it, gets it past the goalie. So that was a very good shot.
Okay, we're going to take a timeout on the field. 3-2 your score. Dallas still with the lead.
And media timeout.
So this is a Wyoming Valley Conference lacrosse game, and the top two teams, Wyoming Seminary and Lake Lehman. Seminary been the dominant force over the last few years when this league started about 4 years ago. Lehman really has come on. They're undefeated. Almost lost to Prep the other day. Delaware Valley right there. And right around the corner, Bob, we're going to have district play. And look for Seminary and Lake Lehman maybe to be back into the championship game. Bob Ide, Bob Vanderhaden, Andy O'Connor from U.S. Lacrosse joining us in the booth. Second half action here on my TV. It's Wyoming Valley Conference Girls Lacrosse, brought to you by Keystone College and U.S. Lacrosse. Draw control by Abington. Look at it, tie it up. What a shot by DeRizzo.
And they did a good job backing up the ball to maintain possession, or backing up the goal and the shot. Abington really has their eye on the ball. They're continuing to fight and keep their stick down and scooping through the ball to maintain possession and secure the ball.
Andy, you're right. It's always great when a team just keeps going, keeps working, keep working. We've talked about this before. A difference of 1 or 2 points, that's nothing in a lacrosse game. You just keep your head in the game, you can come back quickly.
DeRizzo shot. You could see she was trying to bounce it in there. And look at Abington ball on the shot. Here, look at it again.
Nice save. Goalie had good eye on the ball.
Both goalies have played very well this afternoon. Low scoring game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Abington Heights goalie in the first half kind of put on a clinic for goalies. She had some fantastic saves. Now we're getting to see what the Dallas goalie is like, and I think now she's gotten a little warm up, so she's able to make some stops in there. It looks to me, Andy, like Abington is kind of pacing themselves a little more this time. What do you think they're looking for, maybe, as they're working the ball around?
They're trying to pull the defense out. The Dallas defense is doing a good job of blocking out on the crease and not allowing the roll. And Abington's reading that. Instead of forcing it, they're pulling it back out.
Yeah, I think in the first half of the game, they were just trying to blow right through it and that doesn't always work, especially when you have a disciplined team like Dallas.
That was a nice attempt at a pick, draw, and going through to create the opportunity for the score. I think Abington's looking to help each other to create the opportunity.
And here's an opportunity now as Tates is going to get it just around the 8-meter mark. And John Delamater's team trying to keep their lead. Great opportunity now for the Comets to tie this one. Tate's in. Shoots low, and Stackish with another great save. She saves 61% of her shots on goal, but she throws this one away.
And Abington, again, is doing a good job anticipating where the ball's going.
Not sure what Becky Davis told her team, but whatever it was, it's the right thing, whatever she said.
Yes, Bob, you are correct. They're definitely a little more. What I saw from Abington in the first half was a very aggressive defense. Now I'm starting to see that aggressiveness in a teamwork type of an environment up on the offensive end of the field. And like Andy just mentioned, the Dallas defense is doing a very good job of staying inside. They're a little more disciplined. They're not going out and pressing the offense outside as much as the Abington team has been doing earlier. It's still causing little problems for Abington, but this is giving Abington an opportunity to move the ball around.
Here's the last shot.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. I think that number 24 will probably benefit from shooting high a couple of times now too. If Brendan can vary where she's putting her shots, that's going to throw the goalie out of.
I think we might have a card coming up.
Yeah, Indy, in this game, there's a couple of different levels of fouls. We've got minor fouls, major fouls, and cardable fouls. Yeah, we've got a card right here. And this is one aspect about the women's game that I like. The referee goes over and tells the player what they did wrong. On the men's game, the ref just kind of runs over the board and tells them what's going on.
Grace Young, the junior, now will have to sit. We'll get a time on this. 2-minute penalty. See if Abington can take advantage of it. They did not take advantage of their only women up opportunity in the first half. Now a chance here to tie it up. And they'll have a great shot because they'll have it just around the 8-meter mark.
What Abington's doing a good job of is drawing the double. Now they just need to, once the double's drawn, whoever's girl's going to the double needs to drive to the goal so they can move the ball.
There's a high shot. Bob Vanderhayden called that one. Abington ties it up. Leah Perry, the junior.
I've got years of working with goalies, so I know what they don't like. They like it to keep coming to the same spot. But if you take a look at this, that offensive player there, she had the target in her sights right from the get-go. That was good. She's excited about that. That's great. Love to see when the team gets behind. Now they're gets behind each other like that. We're at 3-3 right now. This is very good for Abington.
We'll take a quick break. It's tied here at Keystone. Play continues here at Keystone College. Dallas and Abington now tied up at 3, and the Comets still with a woman-up advantage, as one of the Dallas players had a 2-minute penalty, and Abington did take advantage of that. And now Dallas has the ball, though. Now an opportunity to take back the lead. Sydney Horvath, the sophomore, has the ball, and penalty box by Grace Young.
Right.
And now free shot for Delamater here. Just outside the 8-meter mark. She already has 2 goals this afternoon. Shot, save. Horvath can't find it, but it's out in front of her. Great save by the sophomore goalie.
I'll tell you, with Abington Heights having a young program and having a strong goalie like what we're seeing here today, this is a very promising future. If she's only a sophomore, she's got 2 more years to build on this. This is fantastic. So I mean, just look at how this goalie moves. As soon as the whistle's blown, shooter goes in, and the goalie just goes right for it. She had no hesitation. She was all sorts of ready. It's almost becoming an easy save. I know these are difficult things for her to do, but she's just doing it so well.
She's making it look easy.
Exactly.
If you make it look easy, you're pretty good at it.
Yes.
Ratchford with the ball. The senior, there's a penalty. And now she'll set up probably around the 8-meter mark, and a shot for her to score. She already has 1 goal this afternoon. Is Horvath up to the test again?
She's actually in a very good goalie position.
Shot, she is.
Ready to go.
Hit her
She's
stick.
Ready to go. She's just focusing in on that ball. Where's the ball? Where's the ball?
She's dialed in, huh?
Yes, definitely.
But Dallas retains possession. Abington unable to clear it. Shot
Good
outside the
movement.
net.
Yeah, this goalie is doing a really good job here today.
Shannon Barrett had the shot. She's a sophomore for Dallas.
Abington did a really good job of moving the ball. Seeing the ball movement, and the goalie adjusted. Dallas had a great job moving, seeing the free player, passing to the free player.
This is a big game in seeding, too, for both teams. We'll look at this one again, the save.
Yeah, this save, goalie just went right over, hugged the post, was able to just knock the ball out. Abington picked it up from there, brought it down to the other end of the field. And now, once again, Abington is bringing the ball down to their offensive end of the field, and they are trying to instill a little more discipline and move the ball around, look for an opportunity. as it presents itself, and rather than just how they played in the first half. I will say that Abington's offense has come out dramatically different in the second half here.
Looking to take their first lead of the game. The shot off the mark. I think that was Derisso, number 19.
And Dallas has been doing a good defensive stance on the crease there. They've been forcing out that one. She took one step back, and that's how Abington was able to get in and take a close shot on goal there.
Stop the clock as Tates is tying her shoe. 16:32 remaining in this half. Here's that shot on goal. Just off the mark. Lefty shot. Abington has their first lead of the afternoon.
And it was definitely nice movement coming around the crease. Abington coming around the crease, and they were able to just sneak the ball right in the goal there.
And we have an immediate timeout.
As soon as we get around her defending player, she was able to put that in off stick side too.
At hip.
That's the hard shot for the attackman. I mean, to go back and shoot back in the direction that you came from.
A nice placement right at hip level.
Exactly, Andy. Yes, exactly.
So here's what the Comets have done through this season that really started late because of the weather up here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Not many opportunities to get on the field. In fact, a couple of these teams, they practiced in gyms for most of the season. So they started out with a loss to Lake Lehman. As we saw, they're undefeated. Big win over Hazleton. Danville's a very good program. Came back with another win and then lost to a good Crestwood program 7-1. So the Comets, here's what they have the rest of the season. Wyoming area, big game with Sem, Delaware Valley, Scranton Prep, and Coughlin. It's not any easier, but again, this is a big game because of seeding. That's what I was trying to get my point before. In the District 2 tournament, they can beat Dallas and remain ahead of them. They won't have to meet Seminary or anybody in that first round, and they could have an opportunity again to win a first-round district game, which is huge for a young program, something they did last year.
Definitely, and it helps the young program get a lot of momentum going into future years and building and so forth. However, it does come back to they got to win today. We got to focus in on what's going on today. They've got a little over 16 minutes left to play. Focus in on what you're doing today. I said it before, but Abington Heights offense has become more disciplined in the second half, and they need to maintain that through the rest of the game.
Here's what Dallas has gone through. They lost to Scranton Prep. They also beat Hazleton and Tunkhannock in their out-of-conference game against Midwest, lost to Seminary, and lost to Delaware Valley. And here's what Dallas has the rest of the season. North Pocono, Lake Lehman, Pittston area, Wyoming area, and then another out-of-conference game against Selinsgrove. So 4-3 the score. Abington has scored the last 3 goals, and they've taken their first lead of the game, guys, 4-3, and a more aggressive play, I think, from the second half.
And Abington's patience on offense. They haven't forced it. They've waited to take advantage of the opportunity the defense is giving them. They're working together to draw and then looking for the free player.
And I think this draw control, they figured out what Dallas was doing, and they've won the last couple. See, they're right there.
There it is, Bob. You just called it. Exactly. They were Abington, even though they lined up a certain way, that Abington player was ready for it.
Yes.
She knew where Dallas was trying to put the ball, and that's where she went. So, we've said it before. We said it in the keys to the game at the beginning of the broadcast. Controlling that draw, getting the ball right there, possession. That helps you win a game. Go ahead.
And from an educational standpoint, nice shot.
We'll get back to that point. Dallas ties this one up quickly. Number 6, Samantha Banks, her 8th goal on the season.
Yep, another shot coming right off of a penalty, off the foul. Those are always the most difficult ones in my mind.
Well,
Andy, you're kind of setting up an offensive player with the ball going right at the goalie.
And that's what that was going to be my point from an educational standpoint, where Abington's being hurt is the fouls are creating an opportunity for Dallas, and if they can move their feet and move with their player rather than reaching, that's when they're getting called.
Yes, and if they can keep Dallas out of that potential scoring position, then they'll have a better outcome in the game.
Yes.
Well, we have ourselves a tie game. 15:45 left in this one. Here from Keystone College. Coming up at 7:30 tonight, we have men's lacrosse action as Keystone hosts Marywood in the final regular season game in the CSAC. And in between, not televised, we'll hold a youth lacrosse clinic for girls that Andy and Bob will put on, along with Becky, the Abington Heights coach. And I know some of the girls from Scranton Youth Lacrosse, who I'm associated with, will come up. And hopefully the rain holds off, right?
Don't jinx us.
And what are you going to go through with some of the girls tonight?
We're probably going to do a lot of skills, ground ball, cradling, passing, catching. But I would venture a guess that with Becky's knowledge here and Andy's knowledge, we're going to try and help these girls really understand what it is that they're learning. Not just go out there and run through a drill. Am I right, Andy? We want them
We're going to play games with them.
We're going to play games.
Okay.
Because
There you
that's,
keep it fun, right?
and that's the way they're going to learn. We're going to teach them how to think and make the decisions and learn how to make the decisions on their own. And that's the biggest thing with the athlete development model.
Yes, yes. So we'll have a bunch of games going on in between the games.
In between the games.
There you go.
That's right. So now Abington with possession. Under 15 to play.
And here they go. They're disciplined, moving it around, testing the defense right there.
You can hear Becky Davis yell, pass and move. That's right.
There you go.
Don't stand still.
That's how they're creating the opportunities.
Oh. That's, I
saw
heard that one up here.
I saw that. You saw that.
Yeah.
And everybody in the bleachers
Ooh, I
saw
hope
that.
she's okay.
That was, yeah.
That was a hard hit,
That
as
was
they say.
That was a very hard
I
hit.
know it wasn't intentional.
No, but there
Ooh,
we have.
that's a big stick to the head, unintentional. And that definitely will warrant a yellow card. And that was number 22 for Dallas, the senior Claudia Liu. She's a 4-year starter, and she'll sit this one out for 2 minutes. Another opportunity for women up for Abington Heights. And this will be Steenbeck starting today.
No, Andy, on that particular movement there, the defensive player was coming in, and the defensive player is now sitting in the penalty box. That might strike some of our viewers as being a little bit odd, but could you maybe explain a little bit of what, maybe let's wait till after this shot gets taken, but maybe a little bit of what they were actually, the action that happened there.
Waiting for the whistle for Kayla.
And the referee.
Celeste Kalpin coming in, the referee, trying to set up the players in the right positions. Stackish ready. The junior needs a save here. Hard shot, left side, just off the mark, but Abington will retain possession. There's still a woman up here. There's third of the game. Abington has no penalties in this game.
It's fantastic.
Well, you would think with a young team they would have some fouls and penalties, but they haven't. But they played discipline.
But they haven't. Yes, yeah, they have been. They are very athletic players. They are very disciplined. They were playing like we mentioned before, disciplined defense in the first half. Coach Davis has made some kind of change at the halftime, and now they've come out and played a much more disciplined offense. So this is showing very good promise for the future of the Abington Heights program here. The culture that Coach Davis is trying to instill with these players is kind of apparent by their play out on the field and how well they're working together, how well they're trying to possess and hold the ball, and they're doing what they mean to do. So,
Ground ball opportunity, and there's a hard hit. It might be a card on the Abington player this time, Leah Perry.
yeah, and this ground ball, we see players starting to go in for the scrum here, and then we've got two players just, the momentum took them right into each other on the side.
And the key when you're going for a ground ball is to scoop through, keep their stick low, and continue to go through the ball. Sometimes when you're going for the check first and reaching for the stick, that's when the foul occurs.
So we're even strength now. Both teams will remain a woman down. Be Dallas ball on the Abington Heights side of the field.
Just outside the restraining line. We were talking about that line at the halftime break there. The girls' game is playing these light blue lines, and then some of the, I guess, medium blue.
Nice corner, low.
Yeah.
Low non-stick side.
Yes, Samantha Banks puts it in. That's 2 in a row for Banks, and she gives Dallas the lead. We'll take a timeout. Dallas with the last 2 goals. They lead now by 1.
Immediate timeout. And goal.
We are back. Dallas scores. Andy, take us through this.
Nice roll dodge. Bounce, non-stick side, low corner. Good shot placement. Good presence, strong follow through.
And as well as Horvath has played for the Comets, it's just a good shot. There's nothing you can do about it if you're a goalie.
It is. It's a very good shot. The non-stick or the off-stick side is always the hard part because the goalie's got to get their stick from one side of their body all the way over to the other side of the body. Typically, they naturally are just holding it up by their shoulder, so they shoot lower than their hip on their off-stick side. It's got to go the complete all the way around just to get the head of the stick over there. Makes it difficult.
It was 3-1 Dallas at the half. We've had a lot of goals scored and a very entertaining first half, or second half, I should say, here at Keystone College. Bob Vanderheyden from Philadelphia U.S. Lacrosse Association. Right?
Philadelphia Lacrosse Association.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We got it.
And from U.S. Lacrosse, Andy O'Connor is in the booth with us. Sponsors of today's game. And coming up at 7:30, we have CSAC Men's Lacrosse right here on this field between Marywood and Keystone. First, we have to get through this one. 12:36 in this game.
Now here's Lauren on another draw. Let's see if she puts the ball exactly where she wants to. It looks like Abington is in a position that they're going to, they're anticipating the ball going in one particular direction.
Now this is a change because most of the afternoon, Melinda Ratchford has taken the draw for Dallas. So
okay. Then this may change things up.
Yep.
Looking at how the other players, the other midfielders are set up. Okay, yeah, she went with a push on that one.
Yep.
She was trying to get it more towards their offensive end of the field, whereas Melinda was actually trying to bring it back to her own players. So
Grace Young had the draw control possession. Goes back to Delamater. Both players do have one player each in the box. We are even strength. Whistle?
Shooting space.
And what was that whistle for?
Shooting space.
Shooting space.
That's what it looked
There
like
are so
to me.
many that you don't even know all of them, and let alone me.
I'm learning each time,
Yep.
and each time I deal with a different age group. As I mentioned before, the rules are a little bit different. But shooting space violation, as Andy just said, it's probably, Andy, would you agree with me? It's one of the more confusing rules.
Well, it's an important rule from a safety perspective.
Yes.
So that a player is not in danger of getting hit by a shot if they are not looking at the ball or marking a player and they're in the line of a shot.
Yeah, they've got to stay out of that line of the shot.
Yep, Delamater, third goal of the afternoon, and it gives Dallas another 2-goal lead.
And here's a nice roll dodge. She's actually able to bring their stick back to her right hand and put another low shot. When the offensive player is able to get that much penetration close to the crease, they've got the advantage, and that makes it really difficult for a goalie. Which is why when the defense is able to protect that area better, it helps out the goalie. The goalie's performance much better. Let's see how Lauren does on this. If she still goes with a push to go forward.
And Lauren did a great job dodging through that double team.
Yes. Yeah. And then on this one, Lauren pulled the ball back, so it looks like she's got a couple of tricks in her bag for the draw.
So a couple in a row now that Dallas has won the draw, and this is Ratchford.
Mm-hmm.
Big advantage. They can roll the clock out too a little bit, up 2. Ratchford takes it in though and shoots on goal.
Nice save.
I like how she switched hands too. She came all the way down right-handed. She switched left before she took a shot. And once again, Abington Heights goalie made a nice save there.
Dallas ball. Now Abington now has to get back in this one. What do they have to do? Down 2 late in this game.
Thinking they got to maintain their discipline.
Yep.
They got to play the game the way that they've been playing the game. They played a strong defensive first half. They've got to do a strong defensive stance right now. Once they get the ball, they've got to clear it all the way up the field. They can't lose the ball in the middle of the field. They've got to get it up to their attack players. They've got to use more of that discipline that they had at the start of this half to get a couple more points upon the game. Again, 2 points, not a big differential in the game of lacrosse.
Look inside. Shot. Did it roll in? They're going to say no.
Nice save.
Nice
She stuck
save.
with that.
That was a real nice save.
Yes.
And I think that was number 6, Samantha Banks, who shot that one. So Horvath now with the clear. This has given Abington some trouble this afternoon.
Yep,
Here's-
and it looks like Dallas is playing very good on the redefend here. They've got
Here's
just about everybody
here's the
covered.
shot on goal again, Bob. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's all right. Very good. Very nice save. She was able to, she couldn't get the stick over there, but she got her body, got her arm, and yep, she was able to make that save. I believe the ball has to roll completely over the line in order for it to be considered a goal. So that was a very good save on her part. Unfortunately, the clear did not go their way, and Dallas has got the ball back again. So that experience, that discipline, could come into Dallas's favor here.
Alves with the senior. Gonna roll this one around. Look inside.
Good attempt to see the free player cutting open to the goal.
And Andy, I'm sure you saw it the entire time the Dallas player was bringing the ball down around the right-hand side there. She was looking into the crease. She was looking for that opportunity. See, here she is again, looking into the crease, constantly looking into the crease
And
for an
then
opportunity.
and then it was nice how the other Dallas player was backing up the angle of the pass so that they maintained possession. Continuing to think off the ball, what can I do to help my teammate maintain possession?
Yes, and that's always a great thing. When players are working like that, that's a whole team effort right there.
Comets unable to get it outside the box. Dallas with an opportunity, and they score.
And that good ball movement created that opportunity.
Yeah, that was great. I saw a number of passes before that shot. Andy, you're exactly right. Here's the replay.
8:50 left in the second half.
It was the last feed.
Dallas 7.
Again, a nice
Abington 19.
offside, hip level shot. Tough save for a goalie.
We'll have a timeout on the field.
Timeout.
Dallas with the last 3 goals. 2 by Delamater, 2 by Banks. And that's where we're at. 7-4, your score, 8:50 left here in this game. So give Dallas a lot of credit hanging in there, even though early on Abington came out more aggressive, tied the game up, but since then, 3 straight for the Mountaineers.
That's what's interesting about the game of lacrosse. It can be a 3-goal game and quickly turn around.
Exactly.
You never know till the game's over who's going to win.
Exactly. You've got to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. You never hang your head and give up. You just keep working together as a team. And like we just mentioned on that last shot, there was, I think, 3, possibly 4 passes from the ground ball to the actual, the ball going into the goal. So that right there is telling me that Dallas does not have any, simple, I'm a player, I'm going to handle everything. So, we talked about a couple of different things out here on the field. We talked about some of the lines that you see that are in the women's game. Are we going to
The sticks.
a graphic?
Yeah, you just
let's-
have to just ask them nicely
Oh,
in the
well,
truck and say, "Can we see, please? Can we see the sticks, please?" That's
Thank-
you have to be nice to them, and they'll do anything you ask.
Thank you to the truck. What we're looking at here, folks, is a couple of the sticks that you see out in today's game. The stick on the left-hand side is a typical women's lacrosse stick, and the stick on the right-hand side is the goalie stick. You can see how that head is much larger. Those are sticks that we'll see in the next game. So you guys in the truck, you can hold on to that
They're the
graphic
men's,
for
but
later.
it's a comparison.
Oh,
It's
okay.
comparison.
And
It's
it's good to
comparison.
note that it's different equipment. It's a totally different game.
Yes.
There's different rules. It has the same name. So
Yes, it is called lacrosse. They've all got a stick, but
the
then after
rules are
that,
totally different.
Yeah, things start going.
The
yeah.
game itself is different. So the equipment's different.
That's the question I get. Why is the game so different, and why don't they wear helmets? That's what I get from parents a lot.
Well, men and women are different.
Well,
so
that's true.
There you go. But Andy probably has a little more on the equipment.
And actually, the history of the game, the women's game is more of the true men's game originally.
Okay. See, that's what we need to know.
Yeah, let's see what happens on the draw here, and then we'll go back to that conversation. Looked like Abington is actually
Good ground ball.
Yeah, that
Licked up by
draw,
Abington, yeah.
right off the draw, that ball went in the direction that Abington wanted it to go.
Oh,
Off the pipe.
Off the pipe,
That's
yep.
always difficult and hard to take.
That was unfortunate
But a
for
great-
Abington.
But a great clear and a great transition opportunity now for the Mountaineers. They got it up quickly. And Dallas.
And Abington
kicks
anticipated
it in,
again.
Yep. Ground ball.
You know, Andy, I've seen a number of times where the Abington player, the defensive player, is maybe back 2 or 3 steps, and when the ball gets thrown, she steps up and goes for it. That's great. That's showing really good, discipline and awareness, and very good lacrosse play.
They have good field sense. They're anticipating well. They understand the flow of where the ball's going to go, and they're reacting appropriately.
One of my favorite quotes is Wayne Gretzky: "A good hockey player plays where the puck is." That was a
another
fantastic
incredible-
save.
Nice save.
Another save. That was great. Great movement by this goalie. You know, that was all the way from one side all the way over to her left side there.
Fortunately, they throw it away again. So something else to practice now
Yes,
for this
yeah,
team. Here's
yeah,
this shot.
If you look at this goalie's movement, she goes all the way. The head of her stick started upper right, and it went all the way back down lower left. That's that's a lot of movement that she's got to do really fast.
So back to the differences in the game.
Yes.
The women's stick does not have a pocket. The
Right.
men's does, and that makes for it's not as physical a game. There's no contact allowed in the women's game.
We're seeing a little bit today, but it's not supposed to happen. I got you. It also, and I've said this a number of times before, it also makes, in my opinion, the women's game a lot more reliant on really good stick skills.
Yes.
You've got to be able to control this ball.
Oh.
An unfortunate goal for Abington. I mean, great goal for Dallas, but
That was very creative shot for Dallas. They heads up.
Yeah, I
play.
think that was Samantha Banks again.
Yeah,
So
we'll see
Banks has 4 in the second half.
That was a field hockey shot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. And
Field
it's
hockey.
legal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, field hockey shot bounced right off of the goalie's foot too. That was a difficult one for her.
Dallas 8. Abington
So 4 straight scored by the Mountaineers, and they've blown this game open now a little bit. 4-goal advantage, 6:45 left in the contest. And now Abington will change draw. It was Abby Brown, and now it will be, looks like 26. Perry Scott, a senior, will take the draw for the Comets.
And it's interesting to me where the other midfielders are getting lined up for this draw. You know, right now we've got one of the 3 midfielders is right on that circle, and then the other midfielder is way off in the corner. I'm not sure what the strategy was for that. Maybe that could have been to pull the Abington player out of the action.
So Lauren Delamater, a junior, the leading scorer coming in, has a couple of goals today. For Dallas, she'll take it down, probably bring it around the outside, the X, and she lost the ball. Good defense by the Comets.
Lauren had some nice stick skills there. Andy, did you see how she just wound her way
Yes,
through the play? And she
a
was
nice
able to
switch.
she seamlessly switched from right to left hand and then back to right hand again. That makes for an effective player when you've got that the ability to go right or left-handed.
Yes. Just like in basketball, when you practice dribbling, you practice cradling, right, left, dribble, right, left.
Here's some of John Delamater in there, the Dallas coach, trying to coach her girls into the ride, and they do get the turnover again. Whistle. Stick check. Unusual in the middle of the game.
The
Or she
ball
must have
was
saw
stuck.
something.
The ball would not
Yep.
come out of her stick, so it may be an illegal stick.
That's another thing in the women's game. There's a stick check at the beginning before the game even starts, where the officials will inspect every stick as they go through, and the official is doing a little mid-game stick check right there. The weather, as you mentioned before, Bob, kind of wet out here today.
Humid, yeah.
A little wet. So the weather does have an effect on the equipment. That may have been what happened right there. The ball just kind of happened to go in and catch. I'm not sure what materials are in her particular stick. Could have been leathers or nylons that the ball got wedged in there somehow. But the stoppage of play happened, and the referees went through. They checked it, and we're back in action here.
Melinda Ratchford, who had the stick check, a senior.
Melinda's done a great job of creating space on the offensive end. She's cut through and created opportunities for her teammates. She's off ball, doing a lot of good movement.
Dallas looking to even up their record here, go to 3-3 if they can pull this one out.
I'd like to see the clear to flat and low. They've turned it over several times coming up the middle of the field.
Andy, one thing that I always have my goalies work on is clearing out to the corners, not right up the middle. I try to get out either to the side, GLE, or over towards the the bench, or over towards this sideline. Oh, there we go. And
that was a nice roll, nice crease.
Yeah.
And Dallas, where they had been doing a good job stepping up on the crease, they had a little breakdown there, and Abington took advantage.
Erin Albright, here we go. Her second of the game.
It almost looked like she faked high. I think she jumped, and then when the Dallas goalie went up to defend that, she immediately changed her shooting motion to bring it back down low. Let's see if we can get another little look at this. See, she goes up high and then
high to low.
Yeah, that's very good. That's
when you can change planes on your shot, your release point to where you're finishing. That's where it's tough on the goalie.
Yeah, it makes it very hard for the goalies to follow the ball and get in there and make that save. So that was a very good shot.
The last save on the Abington goalie, when she made it offside low, Dallas had been successful offside low, so she, I think, was anticipating. The more you change up where the shots are coming to.
Yes, yeah. Whenever I'm working with shooters, I'm always asking them to increase their bag of tricks. Don't keep shooting at the same spot every time. It's a 6x6 square. You've got a lot of space there. Shoot it different every time.
And that's what Dallas has been successful this half when because their shot selection has been to numerous hot spots within the cage. They've had off stick, hip, low, off stick. They've gone high, so it makes it hard for the goalie to anticipate.
Yeah. At the age we mentioned before, I'm currently coaching 3-4 girls level, and a lot of times they'll throw the ball right to the goalie. And so we're working on trying to shoot where the goalie is not. Try to put the ball on the opposite side of her stick or down low.
And same thing happens on the boys' side, don't worry. Same thing happens on the boys' side.
Aim for the ropes, look for a white square, and that's what you look at it, because it seems as though there's a target on the goalie.
Yes. And that comes with experience. Experience and discipline and being able to go out there and practice. The more you practice, the better you will get.
This could be a big draw here. Abington can get it back and score. Cuts the lead back to 2. So Perry Scott, the senior, will take it against the junior, Delamater.
Another interesting fact about the women's draw, both of the players are on the same side of that midfield line. That'll happen in the women's game depending upon the player, if she's right or left-handed, or the grip that she prefers, or so forth. Tonight, when we watch the men's game, you'll always see that the men line up on their defensive side of the line there for every face-off that they take.
There come the Comets. This is Tate.
Yep.
He loses the ball right around midfield.
Well, it looks like Dallas is definitely playing more of a full-court press type of a defense. A really tough ride.
And I think they're challenging a little too much now on the offensive end, trying to take it through double and triple teams, and that's when they've turned the ball over the past couple times, bringing it down.
Aaron pass. Can Abington run it down? They pick up the ground ball.
It was good body position on that ground ball. She blocked out the Dallas player trying to come play the ball
She
and
was.
maintain possession.
Yep, she was good with that, but she did go for a one-handed ground ball, which I usually frown upon.
Yes.
But,
Okay.
Yes.
but you are correct, Andy. Her body position on that ground
Here
ball.
come the Comets on transition,
There
Bob.
you go.
Off the mark. Good shot. That was Simikoski.
It looked like a Dallas player was closer to the
Yep.
ball when the ball went out of bounds. As you can see, she had the goal lined up, and she was trying to put it low on stick side, outside of the goal just a little bit. Because Dallas was closer to the ball as the ball went out of bounds, Dallas was awarded the possession of the ball.
Ratchford. Taking 2 players on. Still shoots left-hand side and off the goalie's right side. Then we have a goal for Ratchford.
Dallas goal by number 19.
And
Melissa
again, Andy,
Ratchford.
here's another one where
3:40
the
remaining.
Dallas player was actually moving to the
Dallas
right and then
9,
shot
Abington
back
Heights 5.
Yeah.
where she was coming from. That's always difficult. And as you can see, the goalie was used to the players moving that way, so she went over. She was hugging the pipe to her left a little bit more. It's always difficult to kind of throw back where you came from. So it was very good that Dallas player was able to do that, and that she's got that bag in her trick, or that trick in her bag. My
And
bad.
she did a good job dodging. Again, she had a double team. The double team, she in her movement was able to make them pick one another off.
So Ratchford has 2 goals, Delamater 3, and Banks 4 for Dallas. You're scoring here at Keystone College, and back to a 4-goal lead for the Mountaineers. Late in the second half.
Now, Andy, as I transition from coaching the men's game over to the women's game, I got to admit that the draw was the part that took me the longest to get. I don't understand how the physics goes into that, and I do have a couple of people that I call on often when I'm teaching draw to players and so forth. But when you played, what position did you play?
I played on the circle.
You were playing on the circle, okay?
Box, and the biggest thing is it's like basketball. It's you've got to be moving and ready to block out your opponent.
Okay.
And anticipating where the ball's going, seeing where the last draw, seeing where their sticks are, the ball's coming out of their stick and moving as soon as it's coming out.
I'm actually fascinated by I like the draw in the girls' game better than the boys' game. I don't know why. There's something just more in physics or whatever's involved. Just seems to draw my interest more.
And it's a fun stick skill to work on
Mhm.
in the extension of your being able to wrap the ball out of the air.
Yeah, good goal by Simikoski for Abington. They're hanging in there are the Comets.
Now that definitely took an Abington bounce because that ball hit very far hit the ground very far out in front of the goalie, in front of the crease. So if you watch this bounce, she's coming from up high. She puts it, that bounced outside of the crease. So she was Abington. That definitely went in Abington's benefit there. Just got inside the top of the goal. There you are.
That
So
could be a shot she practiced on the turf
there you go.
coming up.
Funny thing is, Abington plays on grass.
Oh.
So they
I guess
practice on grass, where Dallas has the turf.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, there you go. Well, maybe it bounces
didn't
different
mean
on
to
the
counter
grass.
that, but just wanted to let people know that because everyone's at home thinking, well, Abington plays on the grass. So, and they do. Abington does play on the grass. Another draw control 1.
And actually, that makes a
Comets?
little more sense because a bounce that far out on the
Yeah.
grass would not have gotten that high. It would have gone more towards her hip or below her shoulders. So, assuming that it's well maintained.
Dallas will retain possession on this one as both girls try to chase the ball out of bounds. Now it's up to Abington to get the ball back. Dallas trying to run out the clock. What's ironic is Abington coming in averages 6 goals per game. Dallas coming in averages 9 goals per game, and the score is 9-6 Dallas.
Ta-da! How about that?
It's the law of averages.
It is.
There's another thing aspect of this game, Bob. We haven't seen, even though we've seen players maybe move around in different positions. We've got a different draw players right now. The substitutions don't happen as frequently in the women's game as they do in the men's game. On the men's game, we're constantly seeing midfield lines get switched out and switched out. On the women's side, I see a lot of players spending a lot of time out on the field. So they've really got to be in good athletic shape because they're going to play out on the field for a while. So you've got to be ready for that.
Now, historically,
Mhm.
the women did not have lines. There were no out-of-bounds lines. So
Oh.
you ran.
I didn't know when to stop. There's a fence. I guess we're going to stop, right?
Go with the fence.
Keep going with that.
The tree over there and the big boulder over that way. Actually, yeah, Andy, do you know about when the lines came into play? Because I believe I remember back then when there was no out of bounds. They did have the arcs, but they did not have.
I would say in the 90s.
Yeah. It's,
Ground balls. Dallas has it. Under 2 minutes left in this game. We were tied at 4 midway through this half, and then it's been all Dallas ever since. Mountaineers, I'm sure, content just to run off the clock at this point. Try to get that 3rd win on the year.
and as you can see right there, the Dallas player, instead of going right at the goal, because he could have got Abington's been coming up with a lot of saves lately, so she just figured let's pass it around, let's maintain possession, and Bob, like you just said, let's try to hold the ball, let's maintain the possession and the momentum of the game.
Very well played game this afternoon. Very competitive, I think, and pretty entertaining.
Yes,
at points.
By both games.
Yeah.
Or by both teams. Yes, it's very.
Goalies played well. Both teams fought well.
A little bit of an elbow there.
A little frustration with the minute left.
Aaron Dugan will join us on the field. We'll have players of the game when this one hits the 0 mark. And I think we're looking at 2 Dallas players, and I think we're going to go with Delamater and Samantha Banks.
Sounds good. They've both been key players
played
here
well
today. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll get you guys set up for your youth lacrosse clinic. Crossing our fingers that there are some girls here and that the weather stays. The weather stays dry for you, at least.
Yeah, and there's Lauren with the ball. She's got 30 seconds left, so with her discipline, I'm sure she's gonna run the ball out around the side. This is always the part of the game that's kind of tough, kind of tough because you're almost going against what you want to do. You want to play, you want to score, you want to work together as a team, and now it's time to run this out. So unfortunately, as we pan out, we can see there are a lot of players that are right at the clock. We'll see if the refs call that one, but
I think they did, and I think it will count, and the final score will be 10-6 as Delamater puts her 4th in at the buzzer. She's going to leave with 24 goals on the year, and Dallas improves to 3-3 with a 10-6 victory over Abington Heights. When we return, we're getting down on the field with our own Aaron Dugan. She'll be with our players of the game, and then we'll wrap it up from the booth.
Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by U.S. Lacrosse.
Back in La Plume on the campus of Keystone College, our Wyoming Valley Conference girls lacrosse game wraps up. Dallas gets their 3rd win of the year. They beat Abington Heights 10-6. Aaron Dugan stayed dry during this one, and Aaron, you're with our players of the game from the Mountaineers.
That's right, Bob. First, we'll talk with Lauren Delamater, our first player of the game, scoring at the last second there. That was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Talk to me about this game and how you got the win.
So we really just worked together as a team. I probably heard us chanting family. Like, that's really what we are over here. And even when we're down or they come back, we really mend together and we bring it back together. And we come out on top.
It was a good game, a competitive game, but how did you guys come out on top? How did you pull through?
Definitely just communication and working together. Our attack, we really try to communicate, work together. Our defense is amazing, helping us. We get the ball back up. It's great. We work together.
What kind of aspects of the game would you like to work on?
Just definitely our plays on offense, breaking a defense like that. They were really good at defense. They had a wide thing going on where it's immediate double and triple teaming, so we have to learn to be met with unexpected things like that and adapt.
Great job today.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next player of the game, Samantha Banks. Samantha, same question. What did you do well out there today?
Well, in the last second when I got the free shot, I just said to myself, like, oh, I need to put this in because we needed the momentum to switch back to us, and that's what we were talking about at halftime, just to get the momentum back on our side.
Have you seen your team getting better as the season goes along?
Yeah, definitely. I think throughout the season, like Channing family, as Lauren said, like we're just getting closer and like we're learning each other and how we play like better together.
And how about the rest of the season? How would you like to see things play out?
Well, hopefully we make it far in playoffs, far enough to hopefully go to the district championship, but I guess we'll just see as the road goes on.
All right, nice win today, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you to our players of the game from the Mountaineers of Dallas. Coming up at 7:30 right here on MyTV, our lacrosse day continues as it's a CSAC men's game coming up at 7:30 between Marywood University and Keystone College at 7:30 right here on MyTV. Youth Clinic will be starting on the field soon, so if you're in the area, want to bring up your lacrosse player, come on up to Keystone. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll return at 7:30 for live men's lacrosse. So for the entire Fox 56 Sports crew, a big thank you to the folks from Keystone College for helping us out. This is Bob Ide for Bob Vanderhayden and Andy O'Connor saying so long from La Plume.
Keystone College presents high school lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.